Welcome to the Collapse Experiment, where we have bitchy chickens who keep following us. Absolutely no, I don't know what her problem is, but she seems to have a lot to say. So, updates with me. Let's start with the not spending any extra money project. If I had extra money, I would not be able to spend. I don't have any extra money. Everything has been going towards bills. And while I finally thought that I had caught up with everything last week, lo and behold, the propane guy stops to my house right as my wife is leaving the other day and fills our tank. So that was a joyous occasion. $466 bill. I'm going to have to try to figure out when the hell I can pay that and how. Fortunately, I don't have any bills at the moment, although, first of the month is coming, and that is when my cell phone and consumers and, yeah, I think it's really just those two. But that's usually a good portion of my check altogether. So, anyways, I think I might have like a good 2 weeks to put together what I need for the propane bill. In the meantime, there's cost of gas for the week. And fortunately, we got our tax return. Who knew that the government would pay you to have kids? Weird. But anyways, moving on. Well, to close that out, haven't spent any extra money. I did come across, or I was notified of an autographed copy of Crossing the Rubicon by Michael Rupert. Something that definitely piqued my interest, and it was a very, very reasonable price, under $30. Looked like it was a good copy. Personalized inscription. But I didn't have $30. I don't have $30, and if I had $30, I would have to save that to put it towards the propane bill. So, anyways, pass that up. It's kind of a mixed bag. I feel good about it, considering that I didn't try to find a way to scrounge up that money. But at the same time, it's like, man, I haven't seen one of those. And it was fairly priced. The only other autographed book I've ever seen available on eBay was Collapse, and they consistently want $300 for it, which is absolutely ridiculous. Actually, anytime I find an autographed book by an author that I want to get, it's usually ranging about $300. I don't know where that number comes from, but there's an autographed copy of Lost My Love in Baghdad by Michael Hastings, and that's sitting there for $300, which is, again, absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if they'll ever figure out that nobody's willing to pay that much for it. But yeah, the other reason that I would pass up on that, and I really just need to go into eBay and just completely close out my account and all the searches and everything, because it seems like every time I buy something from eBay, my account information gets stolen. So definitely eBay has some issues going on with their website. They have some serious security issues. That's where I can track it back to. Is definitely that website. Um, their customer service is non-existent. The first time that happened, I tried calling their customer service line. No answer. Not even there's no messaging. There was no like nothing that would say like due to an influx. Like nothing. It just rang nonstop. There wasn't even an option to leave a message for eBay. So they have some serious issues that they need to take care of. I don't know what the hell is wrong with their company, but definitely not the place that I remember it being. And I know because they take a cut of everything that is sold on there, they're still making some serious money. And for some reason, they can't get their shit together. So moving on, the wife and I went to Pineview yesterday. This is an Amish shop. They get bulk surplus, expired, going to expire, all kinds of things. They even have their own meat and produce from their community. That tends to be a little more expensive, but the other options that they have there, you can't go wrong. Even if it is expired, you can't go wrong. So went there yesterday, and at first my wife was like, well, are you going? And I said, I don't have any money. And she was like, well, if you find stuff, just put it in the cart. So I ended up going, and we ended up for 2 carts of food, and I was getting like super cheap stuff. Like they had these individually packaged tamales, which I've had before. I want to say they're usually like 50 cents when I see them there. 25 cents yesterday. So I don't know if they just got a ton in and wanted to move them out or what, but I grabbed all the ones that they had for 25 cents a piece. Nice high calorie dense food snack for a insanely cheap price. I remember buying tamales. We had a tamale woman that would go around the neighborhood selling packs of 10 for, I can't remember if it was $5 or $6. But yeah, she had this cooler in the passenger seat of her car, and she would say, you want to buy tamales? And I'm like, how much we talking? um, Granted, these things are not as good as the ones that you can get fresh from your local tamale lady if you're lucky to have one. But um, in any case, ended up having a lot of decent deals. They had sales on 4-pound bags of sugar, so I bought a couple of those. Flour, they had a sale on flour. I I thought that it was funny some of the sales that they were having, considering um, the wheat and the wheat shortage that everyone is talking about that's going to be coming. Um, so I took advantage of that, and my wife, um, every time I put a bag of flour or something, she's like, "We don't even bake." And needless to say, I have several bags of flour in storage, and she's like, "Why do we have this?" And my response has been, "Well, when you can't buy bread at the store, what are you gonna do?" And she was like, why wouldn't we be able to buy bread at the store? So that happened, and for 2 carts, it was 125 bucks. 2 full carts. And at this store, I don't know if they got like old Costco carts, and if you have ever been to Costco, those are not small shopping carts. They are designed to hold bulk items. Um, the other sale that I came across at Pineview that I'm kind of kicking myself for not taking advantage of, they had the large industrial bakery flour bags. These are like 40-pound bags. $6.99 for 40 pounds. And it would have been overall cheaper to buy one of those than to grab a couple of the other bags that I bought. But one issue that I immediately thought of was storage. Like, where the hell are we going to put this thing? The thing with the other bags is that they're small, they're compact, you can stack them, put them in boxes, whatever. This is like the size of the bags we get for like chicken food. So, yeah, I ended up passing that up. I did notice some price increases. The butter, the sticks of butter, the 4 packs, those used to be $2.19, and the cheapest ones I had yesterday were $2.59 for butter. So I bought one of those. I try to keep a few packs in the fridge at all times. And then, man, what else did I come across? Noodles. There were, I don't know, news is getting out, I guess. There was a couple of older ladies who were, they had their carts and they're running around the store, and one hollers to another one, it's like, where's the pasta? It's over there, Janice. And so, while I'm trying to find stuff like, I don't know, ramen, because you know, I do have that other website, the Ramen Ronin, where I do ramen reviews. So while I'm doing that, these women come over and they're parking their carts, and I start finding really cheap Chinese and Japanese noodles, dry, in these packets, 65 cents. One of them still had the original store sticker on it, where it said that the original price, I don't know where these things were sold, was for $3.87. So that's a heck of a discount. Not disappointed about that. Ended up getting several packets of noodles for making homemade ramen. And those are all fairly cheap. They also had the packets of pre-cooked rice. The thing with these packets, if you are familiar with MREs, a lot of them are sealed and preserved in the same way. So while people try to treat them like they're canned goods, and canned goods are pretty much the same way, if you store them correctly, there really isn't an expiration date. Or at least you shouldn't go by that. The easiest way to know if something has gone bad is when you open it, you just do the smell test. If it smells bad, don't eat it. So anyways, I bought a couple of those. They ended up having a lot of Asian options. And for me, that comes in handy because I don't think a lot of people around here eat that type of food. It's what I prefer, it's what I enjoy, it's what I like to cook at home. So when I go to a store like that, I don't have to worry about other people coming in and buying a ton of the food that I would be purchasing. So if you live in an area where everybody seems to eat the same thing, but you notice that there's an overabundance of certain things coming into your town that other people just absolutely refuse to eat. Um, hey, if that's what you enjoy, that could be an advantage for you. So, other things I've noticed there that people just simply don't buy. They've had these it's a really good quality of red miso paste for making miso soup. Um, it's a fermented bean uh, paste, so meaning it's designed to be stored for long periods of time. It has a very distinct flavor, and they've had the same stuff sitting on the shelf for, I'm gonna say, a couple months now, and I bought a lot of it when it initially appeared at the store. I've been tinkering with that, making different soups, adding it to different recipes, and I still have a ton of it. Um, I've had containers of miso sitting in the fridge for, I think I still have one from before we moved, and it's still good, if that tells you anything. I think I bought it like 3 years ago, and it's normally not cheap. It's one of those products that a little bit goes a long way. So you have to eat a lot of it over a period of time in order to get rid of it. So that was another thing I noticed. I did see empty spots in the shelves, which is uncommon with that store. So I don't know if due to supply chain issues, stores are just not getting rid of things like they normally would. I've heard stories about people going to Aldi and some of the food on the shelf is just rotted when it comes to produce. Um, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Um, One of the really sweet and awesome finds that I had was I do enjoy a good old fashioned. One of the ingredients to make an old fashioned is bitters, which is 44% alcohol on average. It's more of an aromatic addition to a good whiskey. And yeah, so I'm I am at Pineview, and I look at this shelf. I go straight over to like where they have the soy sauce and stuff. Very small area, and I see this one bottle. It just looks odd. It has a white label with black writing on it. I'm like, what is this? So I pick it up, and it says aromatic bitters, 35 cents. For one, they're supposed to have a liquor license in order to sell that. I don't know how it ended up in their stuff. Two, the same product, I showed it to my wife, and she was like, oh my God. And she said that they sell it at one of the stores downtown for 15 bucks. So, yeah, I went home with that. Now I just have to somehow find a way to either make or prostitute myself to buy a bottle of whiskey. uh, but no, it doesn't really go bad, and I could just keep it in the cupboard for a couple years if I need to. Um, but hopefully that won't happen. Uh, Overall, the shopping at Pineview was productive. It was good. Um, Came across a lot of good things. We got a lot of stuff for a small price. Uh, I keep hearing these stories of people going to the supermarket, and when they fill their cart, it's $400 or $500, and we got 2 carts for 125. So I think we did pretty good. Last thing I should probably talk about. Episode 5 of Crossroads is available on Kindle Vella. I I'm trying to do more with the story. There's different options available for the author. You can add an author's note. So, like, if there's something about the episode that you want to share, you can do that. I've been taking advantage of that part of the program. You can also ask your readers questions and do surveys and try to interact with the reader. So I've been adding questions to the ends of different episodes. So, like one, I said, what is the proper way to cook a steak? And I put the rare, medium, well done, and burnt to hell. See what people's thoughts were on that. But so far, zero interaction through this outlet. I don't know if that'll change the more I write and the more that I post on there. From my understanding, Kindle was really hoping on established writers to come in, bring their audience with them to help build up the platform. And I guess I don't have an established audience. So that might be an issue. But anyways, it's only a weekend. I don't know if I should really have like an end date in sight. I have the idea for the story. It's going to be a very long and involved story. One that I could probably only tell in this type of format. So while I see a lot of stories on Kindle Vella being like 40 to 50 episodes long and then they're completed, this could end up being a lot longer than that. Well over 100 episodes. It's a very long and involved story. Granted, a lot of the material is fictionalized, but it's based on real events, and trying to make it entertaining as well. And I guess we'll see. Hopefully I will see something at the end of the first month of posting, and we'll have an idea as to where things are going. But overall, I think it definitely is a endeavor worth pursuing. And the worst case scenario is I finish the project. I basically have a book that's already written. And 30 days after I complete the story, I can post a book onto Amazon. That's just my thoughts. I do have a few other stories that I could possibly try to use on the website. Overall, I don't know. I don't know where things are going with this. I did have some minimal success with Gray Nation last year, and hasn't really carried over into other books or stories. So I seem to have these one-off books where they do fairly well, and then everything that follows just kind of but I guess that's my luck. That's my lot in life. And even though I did fairly well with Gray Nation, for some reason has a ton of reviews, more than the books that I made some serious money on several years ago. So my previous series for After the Day, granted it was the early days of Kindle, So I don't know if I just came in at the right time or not, but it was enough to pay off a lot of the debt that I had and kind of start over with a couple aspects of my life. And even with having like 90 plus reviews for Gray Nation, the sum of money I've gotten from publishing on Kindle has been minimal, to say. Um, Not worthwhile. I think I might have made a few $100 from it, and I don't know. I'd have to actually like look at some numbers to figure out what the actual sales are. But I have a feeling that it is the Kindle Unlimited, which is where if you have an Amazon Prime membership, you get free books, and if they read your book, you get money for it. Well, you don't get paid the money that you're offering as the sales price um, online. You get a percentage of what the amount of the book that they read. So even though they download it, they don't pay for the entire thing. It keeps track of like how much of the book they read, which can be a positive or a negative. But even if they read the entire book, you don't get that full price. So that's an issue. And I think that's where I might be getting screwed. Because I already put a low price on it anyways to encourage more people to buy my books. But then at the same time, I'm probably making less. So if people buy the Kindle version of books that I have posted, usually it's $2.99. I get roughly about $2 of that, and I don't think I'm making that much on some of the books I have on there. So anyways, about time to head in, get some other things done. Everybody is fed and taken care of. That's about it for me. Hope everyone's doing well. Take care. Keep on typing.